Morning, it's Dr. Martinez here again. We're going to show you today how to use the Retract-a-Band during a spin class. A lot of this is for your spin instructors, but you can follow along if you have a spin cycle or a regular cycle. I came down here to the building that we live here in New York City, and we have a gym down here on the second floor. I just assumed they had a spin bike, which they didn't. So I usually do my workouts elsewhere. So we're going to use this upright, bike, and we are going to show you how to do some of these Retract-a-Band exercises while you're in a spin class or on your own spin bike doing your own thing. So, all right, so when we get started, I like to stick that in. If you have a console or something, stick it in there. Let me get myself here situated. Okay, so a little bit of a rainy day here in New York City. I'm gonna start myself up here. So there are a lot of different types of spinning protocols, as you know. I'm not a spinner myself. I do some classes, right? But your instructors out there really are obviously know your classes. I think Retract-a-Band can really fit inside the recovery periods, right? Oftentimes you'll use classes with dumbbells, or you'll use classes with different types of exercise in recovery when people aren't, sort of getting their breath back. So, you always want to tell them, as you know, to earn your recovery, right? So really work at your spin, and then once they get into recovery, they can really slow it down. Some people even stop completely in order to recover. Or you can do sort of an active rest, right? So, we can then fit Retract-a-Band in there with regards to an active rest type of activity. You instructors are, of course, doing different icebreakers for your students and getting them to chat with each other and sort of earning their recovery in some way, and then using their recovery in between your, high intensity interval training. So obviously you can hear me breathing already. So you can do 8 minutes sort of unstructured types of classes where you do sort of a 60 seconds on and 60, 75, 90 seconds off, until they're ready to breathe through their nose when they're fully recovered, right? You can talk about the little method, right? You've all heard about the little method where you do 8 to 12 reps and you're doing the same kind of thing, right? 60 seconds high intensity, a minute and 15 seconds or so where you're getting that recovery period or rest period in between, and that's when you can pick up your Retract-a-Band, do different types of exercises with it. There's the Fantastic Four. You've probably heard of that, where you do sort of moderate intensity for maybe 2 minutes, then you build it up another minute, build it even higher for another minute, and then you get a really long, maybe 2-minute rest period. So after they fully recover, they can breathe through their nose, then maybe, fit in some Retract-a-Band. I think it's a perfect time. Everybody in spin has heard of Tabata, right? 1996 maybe, right? Where, they did 6 weeks of moderate exercise, at 70% of VO2 max. Didn't really get a lot out of that, but then they did 6 weeks of, 20 seconds really high intensity, and then 10-second breaks, and 20 seconds of really high intensity, and 10-second breaks. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to, let me resume here. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to fit Retract-a-Band into that, right? But you guys are better at it than I am, so fit it in where you can. There's the Wingate, where you have the hard 30-second sprints, and then you might do a 5-minute hill or something like that, and then you give them a 4-minute recovery. That is a great time to do Retract-a-Band. You have 4 minutes, you can do different sides, and I'm going to go through some of the things that you can do. Irwin in 2012, I believe it was, did they did sort of an unstructured kind of a solo. You guys again know more about this than I. Where they did 50 seconds of sort of high, intensity spinning, and then there was like a 60-second break, right? I think Retract-a-Band fits perfectly in that, right? You had 4 or 5 intervals, or 4 out of 5 intervals of that, right? And I think that maybe we're gonna work in that area a little today. Okay, so I'll take a little break, do my recovery, make sure I can breathe through my nose. Good, some people are still cycling, right? Whatever, okay. Let's do the first one. So we're gonna stick with that kind of solo, unstructured, just so I can show you how this works in a spin class. Remember, you come in with your Retract-a-Band, looks good. The magnets are fitting really well, nicely to make it compact to put in your pocket. And then remember how you open it. You either open it like a book, right? Or you twist it, right? And that's the way to get it open. Try not to pull it straight apart. You can if you want, but sometimes the magnets don't hold, or they hold much tighter in that direction, so it's much harder to open. Okay. One of the first exercises you can do with Retract-a-Band while you're in a rest period, whether they're continuing their pedaling like I'm doing, or you have some beginners, I'm a little bit of a beginner, and stop completely, you can hold your elbows tucked to your side and just do shoulder external rotators, right? Very simply to do. I'm going to do resume here, otherwise it'll stop me, right? And then, or they can be pedaling and doing these. Make it nice and tight. Come across either with one finger or let it go. Open it up. Increase the size or decrease the size, particularly for this one. Snap it shut. And do a nice elbows tucked, shoulders back, good posture. External rotators of your shoulder. Okay? So, you know, you're timing this out. Those of you who are timing are probably keeping me on track here, right? And you can get, you know, a nice minute of that. After the recovery, it's going to turn into more like 30 seconds, which is great. Then again, you're going to get really good at this. So then pop those together, stick them into your console, get down to it. Let's do a 60-second, right? Or 50 seconds, I guess it is. I have a clock there in front of me I can watch. You guys know this routine. Good stuff. Pop it in. Retract-a-Band is perfect just to sit through here. You could even hang it on the handlebars. I'll show you that next. Good. Usually I don't have my glasses for this. Watching my time. Okay, we're getting close. All right, a couple more seconds. Okay, so that's about 50 seconds, right? Breathing hard. What you can do is some people will like to continue this way, other people need full rest. Breathe. So I'm going to get in about 15-20 seconds. Okay. You're going to get good at this. Take this out, twist it open, get your fingers on the locking mechanisms, right? Pop it open with the other finger, pull it really long, tap it shut, pull it really long. Put it around the back, just above your shoulders. Make it a little tighter than mine. Internal rotation. Internal rotation. Right? It's good. Good. I'm going to get in probably about 10, 12 before I need to go again. Almost fully recovered. I see the resume. Start another workout. Right? I'm good. Pop it back in or leave it like this. Hang it on the side. Here we go. You're trying to get me to start another workout here because I slowed down. Okay. I'll pump up my resistance. Trying to breathe. Good. It's good. So you can see, here you can just hang it. The fact that I'm talking to you probably means I'm not going to full out of my high intensity. Right? Or you can put it back together. that. We're gonna do our 50 seconds, just about there. And there, okay. I can recover. That way you guys can hear me speak normally. Okay. Drape it off. Obviously it's longer, right? What we want to do is sort of make it a little tighter. Pop it open with your finger, right? Line it up. Oops, sorry, that one's already retracted. Pop it open with your thumb and your finger. Nice and easy. It retracts almost by itself. I'm going to go a little tighter. Snap it shut. We have room above. How about this one? Oh, horizontal adduction. Right? Horizontal adduction. So, perfect thing to do. Let's say I'm still pedaling. They want me to resume. Here we go. Good. Horizontal adduction. Good. So, nice recovery period. Good shoulder workout. Okay, we're getting to that 60 seconds. Good. Snap it shut. Put it down. I'm going to pop up my resistance a little. And here we go again. So now, I'm not going to keep doing the intervals because this is not a class. You guys can do the class on your own, at home, your own solo type of structured workout, or for all those group spin instructors out there, you guys put it into your routines, all right? Okay, so let's say I did another interval. Pop it out, turn it. This time we're going to sort of put it underneath something, so make it a tad bit longer. Pull it out. After all my videos, you guys are getting the gist of this. This one's going to go under the legs or behind me. I like behind me, and then good. Abduction. Shoulder abduction right behind the seat. Look at that. That's good. Good. Right, then you quickly pull it up. Right, retract it or don't retract it. That's up to you when you want to do the interval. Put it there. Stick it back in. Ah, here we go. You do another set. Very good. Okay, so we're not going to time it. As you know, with my other things, we'll pop it up, finish our interval, untwist the magnets. This one we're going to need maybe a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to pop this open, pop it, be assertive with that. Pull it out a little longer. Remember to squeeze the locking mechanism. Doesn't really matter if it twists, right? Stick it around the console, right? Then what you can do is you can do lat rows, right? Good posture. Those feel good, right? And either on another, recovery period, right? You can do, or the same one, you could do mid-trap rows. Pop your elbows out. Good. All right, really get some back exercise there. So you see this fits really nicely into a spin class. Easily. Good. Your perspiration doesn't matter. Pop it out because I kind of like things tight, so I'm going to bring it in. Come on over here. Look at that, right against gravity. Boom. Next interval. I kind of like things kind of tidy, so I tighten it up. There's a lot of people who are talk about, well, you don't want to do, like weightlifting or these, anaerobic exercises during your aerobic. Well, spin is both anaerobic and aerobic. So, all right, we're going to call that an interval. So, there's a lot of evidence there that says that doesn't actually, you're not taking one away from the other necessarily. So, all right, pop it open. Nice and long. Around your back, I'm going to keep pedaling. Likes me to resume. And I'm going to chest presses. Now you can see how I'm keeping my posture, pushing out, or you can even cross. That gets more of your pectoralis major muscle. Obviously triceps are involved. It feels good. And either at a second rest period after another HIIT interval, right, you can do punches, right? Scapular protractions, elbows stay straight, you punch from there. When you come back, you do not bend your elbows. Punch. That band is nice and tight around my back. Good. So there are two exercises here. One is chest presses, horizontal adduction, and you can do pluses, that's called protraction. Right? Now, some people even do this. Watch this. Boom. You could even do this if you'd like. Pretty cool. I think that's kind of weird, but that's up to you. And we're down for another one. Okay? Pretty cool. Different type of exercise device. Gonna spice up the spin classes. Good. Let's call that another interval, right? Okay, I'm gonna total rest on this one. If you have a console, right, what you can do is, again, you can wrap this around the console. That one's gonna be too tight. I come over here, pop it open, really pull it out, snap it shut with the locking mechanism, pop it open, pull it out, snap it shut, around the console, and now I got bicep curls. Right, see how I keep my elbows tucked in tightly? Bicep curls. With the spin class, unlike my, bike here, is that, I'm not gonna have to keep resuming the workout or doing that, so it's gonna work a lot better. Who knew? My local gym, right here in my building, didn't have a spin cycle. I think I'm gonna have to recommend it. Oh, that's good. I like it. So, if you have a way to do it, you can relax it. Just let it hang right there. Easy, right? You want me to start another workout, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Pump up my resistance, and here we go. Okay, you get whatever pattern you're doing, right? I kind of like to do 45-15. That's just my personal kind of thing. But all right, so then let's say that's another interval. I'm gonna do these magnets stuck on the bike. That's kind of fun. This is a little too long. I'm gonna sort of take it out, pop over the lock in. By this point, you're really good at that, so you know what I'm talking about. See how that pulled right in? Make it a teeny bit tighter. There. Around my neck, right? Elbows tucked, triceps. Again, you're in a recovery period here. Little rest during your HIIT workouts. I don't really like to use the word HIIT. It doesn't sound right to me. To me, it should be HIIT, but it's common. Good. Elbow extension. Right? Then what's going to happen? You can even chat with your neighbor. How's it going? Let's do this together, blah, 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 right? Really get into this, and everybody in the class could be doing this together, or you do it solo at home. And I'm going to let these hang. We're going to get into another interval. I'm going to show you a really good one. Woo! Line. Okay, we'll call that an interval. You can take this, get your breathing back, hold these two, lean forward, and hold them on to where you hold your hands on your spin cycle, and then pull back. pull back. Back muscles, paraspinals, right down your spine. If you want to get more erect from here, you can put your hands here and go all the way up like this. Good. Good. There are more with this, right? I'm going to sort of lock that in. Good, I'm kind of tidy. There we go. One last interval to let it go. Or a cool down. Still cool down. Nice and easy, relaxed, breathe. You earned your recovery period after this, right? Go get some protein, right? Do what you do that makes you feel better and helps you recover. Don't forget the recovery, it's really important. You just got your nice Retract-a-Band workout here, on YouTube. Go use it. This thing is great. Easy to use, fun, something different. I'm feeling good about this. After I finish this, I'm going to have to come back on here and get my full workout. But I wanted to show you all how to use this amazing device, right, Retract-a-Band, and how to use it in a spin class. So here we are, spin classes. Thank you for watching. Remember to use this every day if you can. Don't forget, how do you reach your fitness goals? Retract-a-Band. All right, thanks.